say hello to Simply Doug Simmons.
How you guys doing? Good evening. We just finished our tag match, Boz and I, against Hunter Payne and Marco Anthony, unsuccessfully, going for the titles again, but it's our second time, and I don't know, I guess it wasn't meant to be again. No DQ match, but we had a good time.
Well, we saw it, and you took a nice little bump on your head out there. You okay?
Yeah, it's this will probably be a TurnbucklePad exclusive here. That was probably my last match. I had it happened again last year when I was just taking maybe a few too many headshots, and it just becomes a habit now, just getting dizzy, and I don't know. I think that might have been my last one tonight. I have no idea. I can't tell this far yet. I try to make a doctor's appointment for this week coming up, but it's been happening a little too frequently over the last year. Now I'm 35. Maybe just been doing it too much, too often. I don't know, but just got sick a little while ago. But here I am with the TurnbucklePad. You know, I gave TurnbucklePad my promise that I'd be out for an interview, and sick or not, I'm doing it.
Well, we appreciate it. Now, we understand you own your own gym. Do you use this gym to train wrestlers, or is this to help people just get in shape?
It's primarily, it's a one-on-one personal training studio. My clientele is mostly females. I do have a few guys. I've had a few wrestlers come through. I've worked with Mr. 450. I've worked with Prince Ali. I've worked with Steve Boz. So there's been a few wrestlers that I've worked with in the past few years as far as training at my gym.
Well, what are your plans then? I mean, if you're saying this is like your last match, what are you going to do from here?
That's a good question. I can go ahead and answer that without thinking about it, which I tend to do maybe a little too often. But I'll probably say, I don't know, maybe something a little less stressful than the wrestling. But I'm right now working with another company, doing some booking. I don't want to say the company right now because we're just in the midst of turning some stuff over. But we're doing some of the booking and some of the training there, trying to get that off the ground. I feel my time in the ring has probably come to an end, and I would like to flip over to production and the creative side. I really enjoy coming up with characters and gimmicks and stuff like that. There's a few guys that have done that for. So I feel like maybe that may be more of my forte is put down the muscle and use my brain.
Well, that's always something to look forward to. I mean, you think about starting your own company, maybe?
It's a good question. I think everybody has that vision, but financially, it might not be the best bet right now. I mean, down the line, I think everybody would like to give it a shot, but it's probably more of a headache than anything else. Because there are definitely some things that you want to change. You see a lot of the guys come through today don't really understand like the whole psychology part. I believe if you're going to run a wrestling school, I think there should be a lot of classroom stuff involved. You know, I think there should be studying of matches and learning psychology and theory. So I think the classroom aspect of wrestling school is something that really hasn't been, brought forward, which I think could be very valuable because before you get in the ring, I think you need to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. So I think that's a very integral part in today. So you see a lot of guys that watch Ring of Honor, or they'll learn some cool moves or some cool flips. But that's not really wrestling. You know, wrestling is about characters and psychology and stuff like that. So I would really like to flip it back around as far as that goes, because tonight we introduced the Barber Beefcake at the CSW show. If you take a look at the wrestlers from the 80s and 90s, or you can even go back to the 70s, but guys that are still getting booked today, like the Honky Tonk Man and Bruce Barber Beefcake, Greg Valentine, these are all guys that had gimmicks in the 80s, 90s, or whatever. And if you take a look at some of the guys that are wrestling today, you can go into TNA and you can book Alex Shelley if you want to, but Alex Shelley won't draw you anything. You know, he doesn't have the charisma and the character. And I'm not bashing Alex Shelley, he's a great wrestler. But if you look at the guys that worked in the 80s and 90s, and you look at the guys that are working today, a lot of these guys won't get booked like the legends are getting booked today because they don't have that charisma, they don't have the gimmick and the character to go along. I mean, Jake the Snake, you can book that guy just to stand in the ring because he worked himself through it, through the 80s and 90s, and you don't have a lot of that. I mean, you may have a Sheamus here or something to that effect, maybe an Alberto Del Rio if they 10, 15 years decide to go the indie route when the career is over, because they have that charisma, they have that character you can connect to. And And I can't see a lot of guys working in TNA and Ring of Honor or whatever, getting legend bookings 15, 20 years or whatever from now. So I think a lot of that needs to be brought back in as far as storytelling and getting people involved. I mean, if you want to see a real fight, you can go watch UFC. That's what it's for. It's a great athletes. It's great competition. But wrestling is a whole different beast. And I think when wrestling tries to imitate mixed martial arts, you're blending the lines, and it's not really. It doesn't mix out too well.
Very true. Very true. Well, you spend a lot of time wrestling and training. Do you enjoy watching any other wrestlers perform?
I do actually. A lot of guys will be quiet and say, "Oh, I don't watch wrestling," or "Oh, this guy is terrible. This guy is bad." But I mean, I'll speak very openly. There's a lot of guys I like watching. I loved watching Prince Ali when he was still around. I love watching Austin Roberts. Austin Roberts can talk all day on the microphone, and I can watch Austin Roberts work and pay a ticket to see that. There are a few guys that are like that you can watch, that you would pay and want to see. Steve Boz is another one. Hunter Payne is another one, another big guy. There's some guys out there that you can that you would pay the $10 or $12 or $15 to see. And I'm not just trying not just throw CSW guys' names out there, but different feds all over. Brubaker's another good guy to watch. It's about detaching yourself from yourself. Some of these guys try and be too realistic, and they always say your gimmick is just yourself, like amped up times 10 or whatever. But you gotta have that type of character, I think, to go along with it. Mississippi Madman, I don't know if he still works anymore, but that was another guy that he looked scary, even from me watching through the curtain in the back. He was a very scary looking guy, and I'm not ashamed to say a lot of guys won't tell you, "Oh yeah, I won't pay to see this guy," but there are a few guys that I would definitely pay to see, and I enjoy watching their stuff. Absolutely, yeah.
Well, Doug, before we go, we ask this question to all our guests on our show. What advice would you give to someone new or someone trying to get into the business?
Study. I think studying is the most integral part of the business as far as if you're learning to become a worker or a wrestler. Do your homework. I mean, you don't have to go out and buy DVDs and tapes. You can go on YouTube. I know just in my bedroom alone, my wife probably hates it, but there's VHS tapes and DVDs all over the place. Every night I watch something because it's a business you never stop learning, and it's not embarrassing to say it. I mean, I watched WrestleMania 4 before I went to bed last night. I mean, I'm always wanting to catch something. There might be something that you can pick up from that and use that hasn't been seen in 20, 25 years, or you can take it and use it to play off of something else. So there's many different things that you can do. And my advice would be, obviously get yourself in shape. Hit the gym. A lot of these guys are 150 pounds and they're coming out now. And if you look like an audience member, if you look like somebody in the crowd, you probably shouldn't be in the ring. And I don't care really how athletic you are. But a lot of the guys that even you and I might look up to. We're decent shaped guys, or guys that were bigger than us, or when we were little, they captured our imagination because they were superhero-like. So, definitely don't be afraid to hit the gym. I'm not saying you got to go out and buy steroids or whatever. You don't have to do that. Just eat, go to the gym, but do your homework. Really understand why you're doing the moves you're doing, and when to use them. It's great that you can do a moonsault or a 450, but when and why are you going to do this movement? I think it's very important because, I mean, if you do it every match or every show, you don't get the same reaction. So it's doing your homework. Watch a lot of the Mid-South stuff and old NWA or WWF stuff, and it'll get you there a lot quicker than anything else.
Well, fans, you heard it here from one of the coolest guys I know in the indie scene. Doug, we hope to see you back in the ring soon. Fans, keep an eye on him. This guy is awesome. He is the shit. Come see him perform. He is great. In the meantime, Doug, we wish you nothing but the best, bro. We want to see you back here soon.
Thank you. I hope so, and thanks everybody for watching TurnbucklePad. I myself am a mark for TurnbucklePad. I wait for it every week to see what's on too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and anytime you want me back, Mike, I'm there, buddy.
Anytime, buddy. In the meantime, Doug, you take it easy, and we'll see you soon.
All right.
Till then, fans, peace.